I like to think of Oblivion as the jealous older brother of Skyrim, always envious of the latter's success, fame, and better relationship to their parents. This isn't to say that Oblivion performed poorly, either commercially or critically. It's just that Skyrim built upon Oblivion to create one of the greatest games of all time and is probably responsible for the ongoing open-world games pandemic. Out of nowhere, Bethesda would announce Oblivion Remastered to be released within a day. There was much rejoicing. But of course, there would be doubt. Starfield hadn't exactly exceeded expectations, and Bethesda had a record of messing things up. But these doubts were quickly silenced because, oh my god, it's beautiful! Look at it, it's beautiful! Oh my goodness! After creating the 7 deadly sins of Skyrim, the loving hand of Todd Howard redirected his gaze towards Cyrodiil. As we approach the 6th month anniversary of this release, I decided to relive my childhood in the year of our Todd 2025 and jumped back into Cyrodiil. For those of you unfamiliar with Oblivion, let me summarize it for you. This is not the type of game to play for the gameplay. While there have been numerous improvements made to the general feel and quality of life here, it is still an old game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The main difference between Oblivion and other RPGs is that you do not play as the Chosen One this time, instead the submissive manservant to the Chosen One. Our quest begins in the dungeon beneath the Imperial City.
By the 9 divines, you're an ugly one.
Being freed by the Emperor himself after another in a long line of schizophrenic episodes.
Your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day.
Almost immediately, he is killed by assassins, and in his last act, he imparts onto you some of his bling, telling you to find his son.
Have the Amulet of Kings. Take the amulet, give it to Joffrey. He alone knows where to find my last son. Find him and close.
Stranger.
After we've exterminated the local sewer rats, we emerge from the sewers, ready to ignore the schizophrenic ramblings of a corpse. And what you choose next is entirely up to you. I, for example, couldn't keep my hands off of shiny objects, which I leveraged to join the Thieves Guild. As a part of this unionized group of kleptomaniacs, I could get special contracts to steal even more stuff, which I did. The cost of which being that thieves don't kill. After a heist gone wrong, I got bored with the no-killing rule and instead joined the Dark Brotherhood, a unionized group of Patrick Batemans who seem to be having a lot more fun than the Moody Thieves Guild. This is just an example of where Oblivion can take you. You do have a great sense of freedom, both in how you choose to act and how you choose to dress. Strong world building and good enough writing is then amplified by the main improvement of the Remastered edition. Children are generally stupid. It is for this reason that I, as a child, thought the original Oblivion was a beautiful game. While still impressive for its time, it's clear that time has impressed itself on the graphics of a game from 2006. I do not know by which Daedric prince this deal was struck, but they managed to make this game look as I thought it looked when I was a stupid child. Everything from the dungeons, to the caves, to the forests, and even some of the NPCs look beautiful. And to do this while still maintaining the soul and style of the original is an impressive feat. All of this, however, comes at a price. At first, you won't notice performance issues, or at least I didn't. In interiors such as dungeons and houses, performance is mostly fine, and you can get incredibly immersed in the game. Once you leave these interiors, it's a bit of a different story. The grand forests of Cyrodiil seem a bit choppier than I remember them, which becomes especially noticeable when juxtaposed when entering the safe refuge of interiors. Although you spend a lot of time indoors, all the space in between the indoors are outdoors, so you're gonna have to live with this to some extent. Oblivion has always been a very buggy game, but when you remaster it, there is an inkling of hope that perhaps they could fix some of these issues that have been in the game since 2006. Not only do many of the bugs from that time still persist to this day, but they've managed to include a lot of new ones, earning Oblivion Remastered the title of a buggy game. And this is something you're going to have issues with when you're playing the game. You're going to have quest issues, items might just disappear, NPCs are just going to do whatever the hell they want.
There's no better place to stay.
I understand
Good
money
day.
is
Good
tight,
day.
but buying
How are
discount
you?
spells seems like a bad idea.
I'm not buying a discount spell. That's just a bad idea.
Be seeing you.
Yes,
One in particular, which still has not been fixed, is that light armor degrades extremely quickly. After just 1 to 2 fights, you need to bring out your repair hammers and fix your light armor. This is great if you want to level up your smithing skills, but gets annoying very quickly. Luckily, I only wear heavy armor, which completely fixes this issue.
bruh.
There's also plenty of stuff I wish they would have fixed, which would have made the experience so much better. The Dark Brotherhood, for example, lives in a crack den underneath another crack den, requiring 3 separate loading screens and 2 to 3 business days to get into. This is a little annoying, especially given there's a ladder right there that I cannot use that you unlock later in the story, but it would have been just so much easier and so much more fun if I could just use it now and I don't have to look through all these loading screens. I don't like loading screens, Bethesda. Since its release in April, there have been a grand total of 2 updates. Yes, that's it. Just the 2. Not very long ones either. Here is all of the stuff that they fixed. Not anything substantial. Not anything that I've noticed now playing it 6 months later. Given that the last one came in on the 9th of July, I think it is safe to assume that developers have moved on to greener pastures, which I think is a shame. The game is still fun and totally playable, but the experience is hampered by mediocre performance, bugs, and old-school game design culminating in a sometimes frustrating, sometimes enthralling experience. The weeks following this game's release were pretty magical. This game was all everyone was talking about, but the hype died down quick, almost as quickly as it arose, which is part of the reason why I wanted to make a video on it. As of today, 51% of the recent reviews on Steam are negative, reflecting this frustrated fanbase who see the potential of this game, but it's a game riddled with bugs and performance issues. Like its sister Bethesda titles, Oblivion Remastered should have enjoyed a long lifespan supported by mods and additional content, but with 4 months since the last date, amidst echoing silence, it seems the developers have moved on. Congratulations for reaching the end of the video, and thank you for watching. This is the second video I've done in this style. First one did very well beyond my expectations, and it's the most viewed video on my channel at the moment, so thank you very much for that. I would like to continue doing these. I think they're quite fun to make, so if anybody has any suggestions, either on games or how to improve the videos, I would be very open to that. And again, thank you very much, and if you enjoyed it, hope to see you around.